Hey, producers of my ghost story. I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for letting me take the time to kind of share my story and the evidence that I captured. This is probably the best ghost apparition, spirit apparition that I've ever seen caught on film. In addition to a couple other very historic pictures that I've seen throughout the years. My name is Samantha. It's Samantha Harris, Harris. And I live in Williamston, Michigan, just south of East Lansing. I grew up in Dexter, Michigan, just outside of Ann Arbor. So my ghost story is kind of interesting. It sparked my whole career in paranormal investigations and kind of really opened my world and changed my mind about paranormal stuff. I've actually been experiencing paranormal psychic phenomena since about 2 years old. We actually have some funny home videos of me making weird predictions and creepy stuff like that we didn't realize until years later actually watching the videos. So just kind of strange stuff. And I didn't really start researching the paranormal until I was about like 12, 13 years old. So the picture that I wanted to share with you guys is this one. At first, it looks extremely inappropriate because there's a girl like spread out on a couch and we were goofing off. But the big thing that you want to look for is actually right here, this apparition of a woman in the corkboard. This was taken in 2001, so I was about 12 years old, and I was attending Camp Al-Gon-Quian. My friend Melissa and I, who's actually in the picture, who I've known since kindergarten preschool, our families decided that after attending this other summer camp, it's a Christian summer camp, Spring Hill in Michigan, that it was starting to get expensive. So like, let's just try a different day camp, summer camp, and see how that goes. So we tried Camp Al-Gon-Quian, which is off of Burt Lake in Michigan. And I think it's just south of Petoskey, Michigan. And we went to I think it was like a 2-week session or whatever. Really great place, gorgeous lake, and a historic building. And I'll kind of go into that details in a little bit. But anyways, so we went to the camp, and I don't know what day this was on. It says, I think August 10th. Good thing there's like a timestamp on it. So on August 10th, this picture was captured. There was a building on the campground. I'm pretty sure it's still there, even though it's been like 10 years since then. But it had a stage in it. It was like a theater room. And so a couple of nights a week or whatever, there'd be like skits, or we'd have to put together like a fun little like theatrical gig just for the other camp members and counselors. And we were in this building, and it looks like it was darker outside in the corner of the picture. So maybe it was like towards evening or something after dinner or whatever. But we were just hanging out, and I had a really crappy disposable Kodak camera, the ones that you just spin and click, point and shoot kind of thing. Really piece of crap. So nothing professional about this at all. We weren't trying to capture anything, but we did. And that's why I think it's kind of interesting. Sometimes these things are spontaneous and unexpected, and that's what like got me so excited about this picture. So we were hanging out in that room, and the girls were goofing off and being like my mother. I'm like, oh, let me get a picture of it, let me capture this. And they're like, ugh, whatever. So they like redid the pose or whatever. And so I took the picture. What I didn't share with the other girls at that moment is that I had the feeling of being watched, that like behind you energy, when your hair stand up, something just didn't feel right. And it almost felt like the air was like electric, if that makes any sense. I probably sound crazy, but something was different, and I felt that. Even though we're having a good time, in the back of my head, I'm acknowledging that something's strange. And later on, I have come to realize that that's how I actually experience spirits. I wouldn't consider myself a psychic or a medium, but I actually experience a heaviness on my chest, the hair stand up on the back of your neck and arms, and just like a feeling of being watched. And I can just sense them now. But I didn't know that at that time. I was only like 12 years old, and I had experienced some weird stuff beforehand, but it wasn't like up close and personal kind of thing like this. So I took the picture. I didn't realize that we had captured anything for like weeks, maybe even months later. Let me tell you about this picture real quick too. And I kind of did a different like edited thing so you can see like different versions. There's clearly a woman like smirking and holding her chin. Some people thought she was like choking herself, but I think she's actually laughing because the girls and I were like goofing off. This is a cork board. There's no plexiglass, no reflective surface. We used to post like newsletters and letterheads up there, and there was not even that like plastic sheen that they sometimes put on cork boards. Nothing on it. Cork board. There's actually a room behind that wall that there's a bunch. It's almost like an apothecary. There's a bunch of old bottles and weird things behind it, and but nothing that's like see-through. It's not my reflection. If it were me, the camera would have been in my face, and it doesn't even look like me, actually. In the original picture, you can actually see she almost has, like, reddish hair and, like, a white sweater on. And what was really strange is that it looks like she almost has like a patch on her arm in the shape of the Michigan mitten. And I don't know if that's like a DNR patch or what, but definitely older dress that she's wearing or sweater, which is really interesting. Um, the history of the location, Camp Algonquin, it used to be known as the Elms, and it was actually a farmhouse. And in 1925, it was later purchased by Herbert Twining, I believe, who was a University of Michigan graduate. And so he wanted to create a summer camp and kind of help out people. A lot of cool people actually went there, or their children went, like the Wrigleys. What is it? Hold on. Procter and Gamble's kids, like stuff like that. So a lot of actually rich and well-privileged children attended this camp, and then it kind of became more open for other people. And originally, I think it was just for boys. So there's history to the land. It's really old, let alone there's a lot of Native American history to this land throughout Michigan before we kicked them out and violated our treaty agreements. So there's actually pictures you guys can find online that share the older pictures from Camp Algonquin, and you can go online. It's http //AnnArborYMCA.org. And the actual camp office is actually in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You guys can try contacting them. I don't know how they're going to respond to this, considering like little children have to sleep at night at this camp, and I don't know if they want to have the publicity of being like, yeah, we're totally haunted, and parents are going to be like, well, you can't go there. We don't want you going there. So I don't know. Later on, I had talked to a girl that I went to high school with, and she said that, yeah, there's actually records or rumors that somebody had, or several people had died on the property. I never was able to find records. Maybe you guys could do a little bit more research, or I could try and see if we can find anything else. Into your ghost experience questions. Why did it happen to me? I think because I wouldn't say I'm a psychic medium, as I said earlier, but I'm sensitive to spirits, and I can feel them, and I can sense them. I acknowledge that. I definitely felt cold chills, hair standing up, everything like that. I haven't been back to Camp Al-Gon-Quian. Never went back. I don't know, not because I'm scared, because I think it's fascinating. But let alone, I don't think they let adults unless you're like a camp counselor. Maybe they would allow investigation. I think that'd be really neat to do, but I just never went back. And, I have like a nostalgic feeling for Camp Algonquin just because of this experience. I think spirits are still there. I think you could kind of go to like Sam's Club and find spirits anywhere. I don't think they're gone. I think they're probably there. Children have a lot of energy around them, and sometimes spirits are drawn to that. And I think that's kind of neat that they have spirits kind of watching over them at a camp. That's really cool. And of course, there's like ghost stories being told at the campfire and stuff like that too. So it's just an interesting atmosphere that I think spirits would choose to be a part of. This experience affected me like crazy. After I saw that, we took the picture to the Huron Camera Supply, which is in Dexter, Michigan, and there's professionals there that have worked there for like 30 years or so. And the guy was looking at it, analyzing the picture, and he's like, it's in the negative. And I still have the negative. I think it's at my parents' house. It's in the negative. It's not a double exposure. And he's like, whatever is in that picture was there when you took it. And all of a sudden, they start sharing their own personal ghost stories where, like, I have a ghost in my house. It's a really nice spirit. Stuff like that, where it's just interesting starting to open this line of communication, talking about the paranormal is really interesting. So it's not been edited. This is a legitimate picture. And I tried kind of capturing it in different ways so you can just kind of, like, see clearly that's a woman. It's so rare to capture an apparition. You see orbs all the time, and those are like debatable, but a full-blown apparition is the most exciting thing I've ever captured in my entire life, and I wasn't even trying. Melissa Janes, the other storyteller who hopefully will be submitting her video too, I've known her since preschool or kindergarten, and she's been my best friend for a very, very long time. And I don't know if she actually felt weird in that building or not, but she knows of this picture, and we just like don't talk about it. I don't know if it's out of fear, but we just like never really bring it up. So she knows I investigate stuff and work with paranormal investigations, but it's just not really a topic conversation that we really go through. When I first saw the photo, it was like weeks or months later. I was at home, and something was just like, let's just go through the pictures. That inner intuition or voice. And I just go through the pictures, and I sit there, and I'm staring at this thing like, what is that? It's not me. Because if it were me, the camera would have been in my face. It doesn't look like me. And all of a sudden I get up and I run into the kitchen. I'm like, Mom, look at this. And she's like, what the hell? You know, swearing, like freaking out. And so we took it to the professionals at the Here on Camera Supply, and they kind of like validated everything for us. I didn't see it when I was taking the picture. I had no idea. Other than that feeling, something's going on. It's a little bit strange. You know, even though we're having a little bit of fun, there's something not right. And I didn't see anything, but I felt it. And when I took that picture, it was just a strange feeling. And I'm so delighted and like honored to take this picture and to have this. I took the picture. What else? Yeah, I was definitely surprised and kind of in disbelief over it. I can't even describe how exciting it is to capture something like this, let alone a little bit scary. Even though you investigate stuff, there's some things that kind of spook or startle you, no matter how many investigations or, research stuff you've done. Do I believe in ghosts? Yes, I do. I've experienced stuff since I was like 2 years old. And I've seen like shadow figures and things like that and kind of silhouettes of stuff, but I've never before captured such an apparition like this before. And I still haven't. And I've been investigating researching the paranormal for like 11, 12 years now. And I've run several different paranormal investigative groups, and I've never captured anything like this. So that's my ghost story. Really amazing place. I'd love to go back there, and hopefully it is still the way it was before. So we'll see. But thanks for taking the time to listen to this, and I hope you guys are doing great. Thanks.